Professor Husky, you were in Taiwan in 1999. That's a critical period. You were covering the election.
The elections, yes.
And the opposition had winning the election for the first time at the time. And ever since that time, when you observed Taiwan from afar, or a few days you have been in Taiwan, what do you think about Taiwan's democracy? Is it something that has become a genuine and mature democracy, or is it something that maybe Taiwan democracy is not irreversible in a sense, that it may get down to something that everyone is afraid of?
You know, democracy is not perfect anywhere in the world. It's a process more than a status that you reach for permanent an eternity. And I think Taiwan has showed at least two things. One is that changes of party in power can be smooth, and that's a real achievement that Taiwan has done. In '99, as you said, I came for the election that for the first time brought a change of party in government, and that's an impressive step, because you can there are many democracies in this world that are only in appearance, and the ruling party makes sure they never lose power. That happens a lot in this world, and so that's part of a mature democracy, to accept to lose power. And the second thing is that public freedom in Taiwan is respected. As far as I know, there are no political prisoners. There's no journalist in prison for their opinions, and that is something that in Asia is not that common. You know, Reporters Without Borders publishes a map, an index of press freedom in the world, and Asia is not the best region in the world for press freedom. It has lots of restrictions, censorships, and semi-democracies that don't allow full freedom. So Taiwan has made a lot of progress in that direction and has pretty good records. It is perfectible, obviously. It is the case everywhere, but certainly in Taiwan it can be perfected. Is it reversible? Yes. And that's, I think, the big lesson of the past few years in the world, is that some situations that we thought irreversible could go backwards. And we were talking about Turkey in the first part. Turkey is a good example. Turkey had made huge progress. Turkey used to be a military dictatorship. They had several military coups in the past. They had instability and so on. And they seemed to be on the path to having a more stable, more open, more pluralistic system. And suddenly it went backward. And within the European Union itself, we have countries like Hungary and Poland, which are former communist countries who joined a club, the European Union, which is based on democratic values. And suddenly you get in those countries authoritarian governments that are trying to control press freedom, who are trying to diminish the independence of justice. There's a lot of conflict at the moment between Brussels and those countries on the question of judicial independence. And so you can see that you can go backwards. And I don't want to talk about Donald Trump, but you can see that the largest power in the world, which was the basis of democracy in this world, suddenly elects a president whom you can describe as illiberal, in the sense that he doesn't have liberal ideas in his vision of the world. He is restrained by strong institutions in the US, and probably that's his saving the US at the moment, is the fact that there are strong institutions that can resist even a Donald Trump. But you can see that in a country like that, you can go backwards. And in my own country, you know, we've had Marine Le Pen, the far-right candidate. She came second in the elections. I don't think she could have won, but she had 34% of the votes. And I don't think she had great democratic ideas. So if she had won, I think France would have gone backwards. So every country is fragile in its democracy, whether it's a young democracy or an old democracy.